Hello, viewers. I'm SB.
And I'm Amabel.
Feeling a little uncertain today?
No,
No? Are
no,
you
I'm
sure?
very certain.
Are you sure?
Stop pausing for dramatic effect.
Okay, okay. Hey, we got a thing
Those
from the
are
mailroom.
bots.
Yeah. Okay. 2 gems, 2 keys, and a lockpick kit. Honestly, not bad.
Well, amateur lockpick kit makes it sound like it's going to be a words lockpick kit.
No, I think that's just
Oh,
what the
that's the
lockpick
normal
kit is
one?
called. Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know if you noticed there the name K. Thompson on that slip, packed by K. Thompson.
Okay.
I have some revelations to unveil about K. Thompson.
Right.
So I've been spending some time going back over the videos and the screenshots, just kind of collating. We had a lot of data, right? We've seen a lot of names and stuff, but have felt for a while like we're probably missing important things because we don't have a lot of information. You know, we got to smith that data, figure out the relationships. You are giving me the weirdest look right now.
No, I'm listening to you. I have a thought, but
Okay.
please keep.
Do you want to interject, or is this a wait kind of thing?
It's about the rooms here and the
Okay. All right. So I've been going back and trying my first thought was let's put everything on a timeline so that we actually know who did what when, because we're getting more and more information about the heist, and I don't actually have I don't know exactly where to put the heist timeline wise. So I have only gone through about a third of our series at this point, but a third of the series plus the information that we had sort of floating live because it happened recently, plus all the screenshots, has already yielded a bunch of stuff. So Kay Thompson is a Kimberly Thompson who works at Cinca, right? And so she's responsible for packing our orders when we make an order for the mailroom. They send it over from Cinca. She does that. What might be relevant is that there's a note in the laboratory. Do you remember? There's a note in the laboratory talking about how hard it is to find places. Somebody was like, it took me a week to find my workstation. Well, that note is from Kimberly Thompson. Kimberly Thompson was sent over from Cinca to work in the manor briefly for a period of about a month to help Randolph, quote, test with the new turbine tests. We had a note. There's a note in the Blackbridge room in the emails there about a temporary person being given computer access, right? And we didn't know who it was. It might be this Kimberly Thompson. Other important stuff that I figured out. Well, other stuff that is. I have the sort of the latest version of that castle acrostic. We still missing a lot of letters. I have figured some things out about the heist. I figured out who most of the other members of the heist crew are, at the very least. And I have figured out that the code encoded in those books in a new clue says turn scorched sundial base. We thought the word from the fixed stars was A, but that's because we started counting with the wrong word on that page. We started counting in the actual text, but the word preface is at the top of that page. And so the first word, the relevant word on that page is actually base. So I guess we have to scorch the base of the sundial because we certainly tried scorching the sundial itself and it didn't do anything. So we need to try again with some kind of fire starting tool with that sundial thing. That's important. Also, just for clarity, Marion Marigold disappeared in February of 1987.
Okay.
The heist occurs in September of 1987. And red envelope number 7 in the time lock safe in the shelter was written by Mary's cousin Courtney, who believes that Herbert smuggled Mary, quote, across the red border to the southern seafront a full 7 months after she was reported missing. And she doesn't tell us why she thinks that, but she says it's a conclusion she's come to after a confidential conversation with a mutual acquaintance. So Courtney, at the very least, believes that Mary was not actually disappeared at the time of her disappearance, and that Herbert has had contact with her since.
When did the
And that comports with what we found in the
yeah,
bunker, right? Like,
when did they stop recording the security tapes? That was in '87, wasn't it?
maybe we're gonna go back to that Black Ridge. I haven't gotten to that video yet, obviously, because it's at the very end. But yeah, there's some stuff aligning. I'm gonna keep trying to tease it out. So that stuff. The other thing I wanted to point out was there's an illustration in a new clue that makes it quite obvious that you're supposed to smash the vases in the entry hall.
Okay.
Once you have done so, it's quite obvious. We looked at that image and didn't make much of it at the time. I assume I would have figured it out eventually during this project. But
But
yeah,
luckily, you had me around, and I'm just destructive.
you should be driving. Anyway, I want to take the schoolhouse. You know how I am about these classrooms.
Yeah, what I was gonna say, go and
Yeah.
take the schoolhouse.
What were you
But
gonna say?
what I'm gonna say is that the shelter protects you from the negative effects of the next 3 red rooms drafted.
Yeah.
The
And you want to
lavatory
draft the
doesn't
lavatory.
have a negative effect.
Yeah.
How
The
would it
lavatory's
protect-
negative effect is that it's a dead end, right?
So how would the shelter protect you from that?
Okay, you know what? I'll give you that that's actually really interesting. I wonder what happens if you go into the lavatory while you are sheltered.
Yeah, go and take the schoolhouse. But that's
I do think that that's legitimately interesting. Okay, we'll try that. We'll try that on some day where we don't have the schoolhouse available. There's nothing actually in the schoolhouse though, so I should not have walked across the threshold there. I just burned
Good shot.
2 steps for no reason, because now I am the one who is thinking of things too late after the event has been struck. Here's my penance. All right, so what all are we trying to do today? We're trying to draw some classrooms. We're trying to...
And I would say, go ahead and draw the 3 rooms off the entrance hall. It worked out pretty good last time, did it
I
not?
don't understand why is it a good plan to make a bunch of decisions when you have less information?
Because it's giving you more information from the start. You now know.
But it's
those 3
not.
rooms are and
But it's not like
how they-
what this room is not information when we're making these decisions.
I mean, it
It's
is.
not
if
useful.
a dead end room, then we know there's one less dead end. I mean,
But no,
Okay.
that's literally not.
well,
No,
thank you for indulging me.
we know there's one less dead end room. That's not information.
Thank you for partially indulging me.
Amabel Holland. I'm inclined to go for the Curse of Blackbridge.
Okay.
I can see how you might want to take the drafting strategy ones because they might have like actual information in them, like mechanics information.
Yeah, no, I would say Blackbridge or House of Arinda, because what I'm interested
But
in.
yeah,
is,
I want to know. I want to know what exactly is it about the name Blackbridge that caused him to take that name for their server cave, and why does everybody else think it's so ominous? And
I am fully here for like untangling the mystery stuff more than the mechanical stuff.
yeah,
But
that's
mechanics
the
are
thing I
not
care about for sure.
particularly engaging, and in fact, often work against, as we discussed many times.
Yep.
Seem like they work against the mystery stuff.
Yeah,
in a
the more I'm
way
looking
that-
through these notes and the way like the information connects to the other information and stuff, the more I think this game has done like a really the designer did a really fantastic job of all of the information design stuff. And I really wish there wasn't all this dumb garbage in the way of the cool game that he made. So here's the
And
question: do we force redraws trying to because if we're gonna see the last classroom, we have to pull 8 classrooms.
Yeah, let's force redraws. Let's do it. Let's go for it.
So each one of them eats a gem is the thing. So I do think there's an argument for taking a parlor.
Each redraw eats a gem?
Each classroom.
Okay.
So we end up spending 8 gems on classrooms alone. This is the only reason I'm hesitant here, because we could parlor.
Okay.
But all right, let's push right now. Right now we have a bunch of gems. Let's do a little bit of pushing. Grade 2 is an additional apple. You do get a lot of little extra steps for this, which is fun. I mean, we kind of searched through this one already. Wait, the hall pass is in here though, right? Or is that the next one? Maybe it's not always here.
I think it's in the third one, yeah.
Maybe it's not even always there. But lots of redraws is pretty fun. The reading nook goes to a dead end, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Laboratory also dead ends. I would probably take a laboratory here if it was facing the other way. Well, I don't like these. Okay. Classroom facing the correct direction. Grade 3, the science lab. Look at this adorable little critter.
Yeah, what I was saying though is that I feel like like the mechanical structure of it really gets in the way of everything. And I think that's really interesting and weird. And yeah, it's frustrating, but I do find it like a really interesting alchemy in a way that I think you find less interesting. Like, it's a weird idea, and this is why you shouldn't do it. But
yeah, you're using the word alchemy there in a way that I think is pretty non-standard. All right, I'm going to take an armory here.
now, why is the armory partially black and partially yellow?
This is a good question. And I don't know what black means.
Yeah.
You know, we could take the shield and still draft the bathroom.
Okay, yeah. Or no. I mean, which...
Yeah, you know, I think I'm going to just buy out the whole armory, I guess. No axe for us today, but we got a thing for lighting fires, and we got some other cool stuff, and we got a den. It's not the best den we've ever seen, but it's a den.
And how much you love a den.
And you know how much I love a den. And there could have been a box in the corner. We could have done horrible melee damage to it. Light the candle. Okay.
Yeah, that's really... I really figured we would light the candle.
They shouldn't... those style of candles in particular, like we've been led... Those are the ones you've been trained to... Oh... Well...
Oh.
We're getting the down face either way. So I guess
Yeah.
we may as well take the classroom.
Okay.
But this is it's an awkward direction for everything to be facing. So this is the last one we've seen, right? The 4th grade
Yeah.
classroom?
Yes, with the maps.
Yeah.
And you've taken a screenshot of this thing, right?
I've taken a bunch of screenshots in here. I can tell you I don't have a screenshot of this board. Pretty sure. But I took, a few screenshots of those maps.
And of the homework thing, yeah.
Yeah. I hope this isn't a political statement.
Okay.
Very curious.
All right.
Very curious. Certainly no reason to secret passage. Are we looking for anything in particular here? Not really, right? The redraws are free. So is there something we'd like to see?
I mean, bathroom.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, we can try to draw it. We could just take a dead-end classroom. It's not horrible. But I'm sure we'll find more in the pool later. Like a guest bedroom wouldn't be awful. Maid's chamber. There's nothing in the code check right now, which is a little bit of a shame. The redraws have, unfortunately, not found us the bathroom.
Well, why not just grab the parlor then?
Yeah, probably that's the right move. The white box is empty. The blue box is false. The empty boxes both have false statements. Probably have the wind-up key. All right. So, the white box is empty. The blue box is false. And the empty boxes both have false statements. Okay. So if there's just one box and it's true, if there's just one true box and it's this one,
Yeah.
then that puts the gems here. This is false, but it's not false. So that doesn't work, right? This statement can't be true.
Okay.
Unfortunately, this statement being false is very little information, right?
Yeah.
But knowing that's false reduces us to one of these is true. It's like it does ease things a little bit. The white box is empty.
Okay, well.
So if the blue box is false,
Mm-hmm.
then the gems are in the white box. Well, yeah, if the blue box is false, the gems are in the white box. If the blue box is true, so this is false, and this is false, we don't know where the gems are. Right?
Okay. Right.
Which would lead me to saying this needs to be false for the puzzle to be valid. If this is true, and this is false, and this is false, the empty boxes both have false statements. The problem with the problem is there's a couple different ways of negating this, right?
Yeah.
So it's not clear what this being false means. So I'm inclined to open the white box.
Yeah.
This box is false.
Yeah.
This box is true. But that does create a situation where the empty boxes both have false statements. And no matter which way you invalidate this, if this is false, then that...
Whoa.
Right?
Hang on. That imply... But if there are two true statements... But no, then that would be false. And that would be empty.
Yeah, the situation we've constructed there is a true, false, false. So, okay, if that's not it... So, this is true.
Okay.
And this is false.
Then this is the only true box.
Then this is the only true box.
But no, because then
it doesn't have the gems in it to prevent this from being invalidated. So it's... But doesn't that just... But the construction there is the white box and the blue box both can't hold the gems. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
You're not sure?
Yeah. You did it.
Okay. So we decided this box is false, right? Necessarily.
Yeah.
Okay. So if this box is true, the blue box is false. Wait, no, other way around. This box is true, this box is false, right? If this box is false, so the blue box is true, the white box is empty, right?
I'm happy that you got it. I don't really need
the white box.
Let's move on.
No, the white box is empty. And then we don't know where the gems are. We know that the white box doesn't have them. So theoretically, they could be in the blue box or the black box at that point, right?
Okay.
But the thing is, if they're in the blue box, then we have created a situation where the empty boxes both have false statements on them again. And that means this isn't false. But we decided at the beginning of the puzzle that it was necessarily false, by the. So that's what. Are you okay?
Oh, okay.
She's ignoring me.
I'm,
She's making a show of ignoring me to shut me up. I'm all right.
it's not.
Fine.
I just can't. I'm not good at these kind of puzzles. I can't.
Okay, but that's no
follow.
reason to be like, I am now turning my head and looking at a different thing, and I have the video feed that they don't have, and so I can absorb a posture-based insult.
No insult was intended.
I'm gonna go ahead and clear this corner because we just have this little dead corner. So do we want a closet or classroom? I kind of want to just take the classroom, even though we don't get anything, because like it's a new room, and then we have all this space to finish them. And I love a new room. You know how I feel about a new room. Can you find the difference? Can you find any difference between these two things? What do we got here? An art prompt. Draw two things that share all but one letter of their name. Cute. Robot and root. Corn and acorn. It's a little on the nose. Tooth and two. Buddy. Josh. Something, right?
Okay. No, actually.
What?
Let's assume that Josh spelled tooth with a thorn.
Okay.
T-O-O,
Yeah.
thorn.
Yeah.
You remove the thorn. Oh, no, that's still wrong. Never mind.
Let's assume that Josh used a letter that isn't in the alphabet. Even so, he's still.
It was.
Even so, he's still wrong. These are adorable. Paint me a flan. You imagine walking into art class and your teacher is like, paint me a flan immediately. I require it for my puzzles.
It's kind of awful, right? That they've gone to the kids to workshop their portrait puzzles.
I don't know. I mean, this doesn't make any sense because all the notes in the office, that talk, or not in the office, but in the study, that talk about this system, suggest that he came up with it in a real hurry at the last moment. And they didn't know if they were going to be able to get all the drawings commissioned by Thursday. At least I thought that's what they were talking about. Maybe this is showing me that that's not the case, but it doesn't make any sense.
I mean, look, he probably.
Okay, so this is hints we didn't need for a puzzle that we solved 100 years ago. Big red flag.
Big red flag. Okay.
Big red flag.
I mean, probably, he had children doing this years ago and, like, has just had the thing locked up,
Yeah, maybe. Commissary doesn't seem like a great play when we have no money. Can you imagine if we'd found a lab and figured out an Apple-based experiment for today?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I will say I'm a little leery of classroom here because this could actually dead end the entire day.
It could.
That makes me pretty nervous.
Do it. Do it.
No.
Do it.
No, I think we're going to take the spare green room. The spare green room has a gem on the table like 80% of the time. I want to get out there so bad. Why is there a rowboat against the gazebo wall? I don't like. I think I want chapel here.
Yeah.
And I don't think we're gonna Knight's Shield it because we're trying to save the Knight's Shield for the lavatory. But I do think I'm gonna run back and see about going up the other way. Let's see what happens when we pursue this door. Okay, I mean, I do think I still like the laboratory.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we still? No, we do not still have the blessing. Okay, Mount Holly experiment setup. All right, eat an apple is not one of the triggers today anyway. Well, we're going to do a lot of one gem drafting. When you draft a red room, lose 5 steps and then set your steps to 40 is kind of interesting. Like, there's some shenanigans you could do with that. Each time you unlock or bypass a security door, and we're hoping to minimize the amount that happens. So maybe it is, in fact, bottom.
2 bottom things. Okay, yeah. Now we're logging to the network to, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna mess with the security level, right? I don't think there's anything we have to do that's more pressing than that. Did you hear the heroic restraint that I applied there? Not making any jokes about the 2 bottoms. Was that audible? Could you hear the flex?
Yeah. I mean, I could tell. I just.
All right, offline mode to unlocked. Offline mode to unlocked. Then you have to hit confirm setting because they want.
No.
The fuck? Confirm setting. I definitely did hit confirm setting the time before that. To be clear. Keycard system. This is that note from Kimberly.
Okay.
Sent over here for a month to assist more with the new turbine tests. We don't know anything about any turbines. All right, well, now we're going to have to go through the chapel. It's fine. Oh, that stays up. Okay. Interesting. Not that we couldn't have just lit it. Here, the classroom's actually a really good pull.
Yeah.
A history worksheet. Multiple choice. Oh, these are going to be critically important. Who was the first crowned ruler of Fen Ares? Which city in Fen Ares is named after a historical figure? How many sons did the 4th king of Orindia have? How long did the War of the 5th Era last? Which realm did not ally with Fen Ares during the war? And what flag was forbidden to be flown at full staff after the war? It does feel like Flag of Surrender doesn't really make sense as an answer to that question. A lot of 4 of 6s. So once again, we can, I'm sure, from the correct and incorrect things here, divine exactly what the real answers are.
Yeah.
I'll just take some screenshots and we'll hit that exercise later. Although honestly, the video footage would probably be sufficient as well. Apologies to anybody who's really annoyed by the Steam screenshot sound effect, because I do take a lot of screenshots. There is nothing in this. Oh, wait. Next slide. Okay, there's something in this projector. I appreciate that they made it so you don't actually have to look down at the thing to change the slides. So here we have Black Army versus Red Army. Here we have a defeat. It's a big fancy red cape. And here is the laying of the railroad.
Looks like.
Big victory parade through Red Capital.
Dirigible.
The inspiration for dirigiblocks.
Ah, yes, that makes sense.
So any day that we have a key card to start with, we can enter the foundation through the base of the house, even if we don't get up there now, which is interesting. It wasn't relevant today. There's a thing to think about probably. I think this is a drawing room, right? There's that or closet and trust
Yeah,
the
no,
north door,
drawing
but I
room.
don't trust north door. I don't trust like that. So once again, we're in a position where like the classroom makes me a little nervous, but we're way less likely to end up dead off the classroom this time.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, I
I'm
say
gonna
go for it.
take it. If either of the other rooms had offered gems, that would be interesting. But since they don't, although you know how I feel about going into
And the
rooms.
classroom gives us redraws, so I feel like we're less likely to end up dead.
Yeah, that's
Right.
that's what I said. But
Okay.
I'd like to have some gems, you know. So this is what it was, grade 7 now. We've actually seen 7 of the rooms.
Mm-hmm.
Teacher's drawers mostly not available. So we got this advanced algebra worksheet. Oh, this is like the things the dartboard does after a while. So apparently we haven't seen wavy lines, but this is a hint panel for the wavy lines. Remember, don't square till you're there. Weird.
I love a kid that writes down no idea.
You know, Sandra, at least you're honest. So that's a 7 out of 12.
You know, I did that once during in high school.
Mm-hmm.
During my year when I was being rebellious. Uh, uh,
For some of us, it's a way of life. But all right, go ahead.
well, I was a goody two shoes basically until my father died. Then I had a real attitude about everything.
Yeah.
Uh, and I just had a history test. I just didn't do the reading,
Mm-hmm.
and so for the essay I wrote, I didn't actually read any of this.
Okay.
And I wrote that on the paper, and teacher did not like that. Turns out,
Sure.
my honesty was not rewarded.
This is a wild algebra worksheet because some of these are insane, right?
Also, is this algebra?
It's a fair point.
Is not algebra involving like variables like x and y and
Well,
solving for
in
x?
this world, algebra has been redefined as math where you use these squares and whatnot.
What does that mean for the historical figures who like algebra comes from a dude's name?
So we got the square right. I thought we had. Wait. Oh, did the music just cut out? Did my headphones just cut out? Okay, yeah, I cannot hear Amabel speaking. So apparently, my headphones just cut out. Well, that's inconvenient. I have been suspecting that these
Can't
headphones.
hear you either.
Okay, there we go. I can hear you now.
Okay. I think the music did cut out because I'm not hearing the music anymore.
That's odd. All right, folks, we're gonna, technical difficulties, etc. There will be some editing probably. Yeah. You hear the footsteps?
I hear the footsteps.
Okay, so the music did mysteriously cut out. My guess is some kind of there's like a sound device got unregistered for a second and it broke everything. And now we're back, but some things are different now. In any case, so I thought didn't we have a modifier that I determined was about, I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't understand it when you explained it to me because I'm not good with numbers and math. And
Okay.
didn't understand what the operation was that was being represented.
I thought we had a 13 that you reversed the digits for to make it a 31 or something.
Oh, right. Yeah. Did that not?
But part of the problem here is we're looking at this, and this is a thing on which three of the answers are wrong, but we don't know which three. And so that makes it harder to, because this has the 16 as 61. This would be 9 minus 5. Is there like a... Yeah, the consensus of the papers is that that's right. Okay. I want to believe that the person who got the highest score was not getting the easiest stuff wrong, but maybe he just doesn't understand this thing, so it's all of these problems that are wrong?
Because frankly...
Because this would be 61, this would be 21 minus 2 is 19, and this would be 30 minus 5 is 50. Okay, so this one's right. So 2 of the ones he has wrong are right here.
And we know the squares if they're right or not.
Yeah, this is correct, this is correct, this is correct. 3 multiplied by 2 squared is 36. So unfortunately, I really want to know what this means. We got to make sure that these aren't the ones that are wrong, though. So this would be 2 squared is 4 times 1 and then squared again to 16. This would be 5 times 2 squared to 10 times 5 to 50.
Is that times 5 or plus 5?
Plus 5? Plus 5? 5 times 2 is 10, squared to 100. Math.
Okay.
Plus 5 is 105. Minus 95 is 10. Square it again should be 100. So this is the other one that's wrong, right?
Okay.
And again, let me just look at everybody else's work. No idea. This is going to be the one that people mostly didn't like. This is the most complicated problem on the sheet, so it's a little harder to. But if these are all correct, then
are we rounding up or rounding down?
Well, it's not rounding up or rounding down. If you round down 21.7, it's 21.
Right.
But I think what it is rounding to a number of digits. This is rounding to a ones digit. This is rounding to the tens digit.
Okay.
So if that's the case, if you round this to the threes digit, it's to round this to the hundreds, it's 1. And if you round this to the ones digit, it's 60. And 100 minus 60 is 40. So yeah, that's what these symbols are. They're indicating which digit you're rounding to.
So here's the thing. I see the mathematical purpose of squaring.
And that means that when these start appearing on the dartboard, we won't be flummoxed because of this.
Yeah.
So thank you, Zach.
I see the purpose of rounding.
Yeah.
What is the purpose of reversing the digits? What mathematical purpose does that serve? When will you ever need to turn a 19 into a 91?
When you're doing puzzles.
Sorry. No, if you're doing...
Yeah. Yeah. That's the actual answer. I don't know what else you want from me. So what we want here is a room that's going to give us gems and also not dead end us at the same time, ideally. But like a conference room, a room that opens up at least 2 doors is certainly not bad. We could take conference room. We got a lot of rerolls left. We're not testing the lavatory here.
That makes sense.
Is the kennel? The kennel's not.
We had a shovel.
Yeah, the kennel's not good today. Gymnasium's not good. Observatory kills us. I can't take it anyway. No gems is so tough. Amabel, I'm starting to get a little scared. Chamber of Mirrors doesn't actually let you through.
Let's re-roll again.
And I think that remains true even if you have another door into it. We don't know how this room functions enough to take it here.
Let's redraw again and take the next room that doesn't kill us.
Dining room's not horrible.
Yeah.
We have 2 redraws left. The question is, can I get a room that's going to give us more than 1 door? Because we're going to have no rerolls left for the next room.
Right. Yeah.
And no gems. So we may end up in a situation where we have 1 or 2 choices and they're all bad, right? Like, what do you think the odds are? Dining room usually doesn't have any objects in it at all, right?
No, it doesn't. Other than the lunchbox, which doesn't really
which isn't
do
anything
anything till we reach.
I think I'm going to redraw again.
Okay.
But I think the conference room would have been real good. The Mount Holly gift shop in that alignment's not very good for us. The closed exhibit's pretty not good right now. So we take the final redraw and we get the mail room. Walking around with zero gems is so bad.
Yeah. We should have taken that dining room.
Maybe. I mean, who knows? Who says that dining room would?
I would have been so happy for you.
Right, but we needed a gem to do that.
Okay, but dining room could get us to another room, which would get us gem. Maybe.
Yeah, or it could get us to the mail room. Like one door off wasn't solving the problem. All right. Well, at least we have a light source here. Okay, just making sure. Just poking my head in on what that room looks like from that side. Yeah, we can go try to scorch the base of the sundial.
Okay.
See if that works.
Yeah.
Or if I have once again puzzled the puzzle incorrectly. I don't think it was like the greatest setup for a day, and we definitely learned something. It may not be something that's like useful for a while, but it's something. I'm just looking at the house, making sure there isn't anything else that we were... Okay. And we bought a star. Right?
Yeah.
Also, while we're on the way out here, I want to stop by the Blackbridge room and read those emails again. Wait, it's over here. I almost walked right past it. We'll get you. Okay. Emails. We're using... Shoot. Whose name were we using? Oh, right. Yeah, Randolph's. More. So... Last cables have been laid. Office terminal. Right, Blackbridge. Someone ominous, given the legend. Okay. 2/10/87, February. The disappearance.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, the article talking about her disappearance was published. Okay, the article about her disappearance was published on February 21st, 1987. Okay. And it notes that she was last seen getting into a carriage at the 100 Bells Tea Room in Trinsdale the previous Friday, so previous to the 21st. So 2/10/87 would have been a little ahead of time, maybe like a week ahead of the disappearance, a week or two.
Okay.
But yeah, it certainly makes sense that she's around, and yeah. Okay, bunch of deleted logs, potentially having to do with Mary. Deleted logs. As requested yesterday, new admin key created. Requested name doesn't quite fit with our typical length formatting. 725. Okay. Temporary admin key has been added to the network. Admin key deactivated. So just about a month. Oh, no. Sorry. The 622. Yeah, Tom K. That's the... What am I talking about? Okay. All right. So an admin key...
Light something on fire.
Yeah, it's not K. Thompson. An admin key that doesn't fit the normal length concerns. I don't know.
Now, what is the our mother's? Her last name is Jones.
Well, our father's last name is Jones. Our mother, her last name is Jones after she marries him.
Right.
She's an Epson before that.
Epson.
What am I doing? This is not the right way.
Would Epson not fit the? Because it's 4, and then the first initial.
Huh? Okay. Where am I turning it to? Oh, I see. I can scorch 2 layers of the thing? Well, I mean, presumably they want it to be faced this way, right? Or is there... Ah, yeah. So there's an extra little line. There we go. Well, it doesn't...
Wait.
That doesn't help. That's just places. That's just places to put more. God damn it! Okay, well, it turns out, still need more microchips. Those are not microchips, by the way. It's a bad word for them.
Yeah. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
What's a microprocessor?
It's like a processor that's small.
Okay.
I hope you were not hoping for more than that, because I don't have more than that to give.
Okay.
I mean, it's not going to be as easy as... Right? Yeah.
Is that Epson with an E?
It is Epson with an E. You know the way Epson's spelled? Amabel, I've been looking at these names. Do not give me shit right now.
Okay, I'm not giving you shit.
Okay, so we can't just pull these out. Alright, well, until we figure out where the third one is, I don't guess that either of these things are going to be all that helpful. And we really don't have any way of knowing where the third one is. And I don't think we have any way of doing anything else today. Really? So,
yeah.
Call it a day.
And we call it a day.
And we call it a day.
Now, where are we at time-wise?
48 minutes.
You want to do another run?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would like to. That one taught us something. And we did get to requisition a book.
Yeah.
We did not get to test your brilliant shielded bathroom theory, but we're going to. Because I do think it's pretty interesting.
While you're grabbing your allowance and going to the thing, I'm going to go grab something to drink, okay?
Okay.
Entertain the viewers for us.
I will not. I've never done it before, and I'm not going to start.
That's fair.
A compass. So this makes it so we're more likely to draw floor plans that lead north. That's good most of the time, I think. It's like generally going to be good. Another lockpick kit is also of course very welcome. So let's go see what kind of trouble we can get into with the outdoor. Like, what am I hoping to draw? I don't know. I kind of want to just pull the special shed, right? The super shed. Shrine's not bad. I guess we probably ought to take the shrine. I still don't have any idea how the shrine works, which is a little bit of a problem. Like, it's not clear if I'm wasting money by putting a ton of cash into it, you know?
I have returned.
Hi. I'm going to put 25
You've chosen
coins
the
in this shrine.
Okay.
Do you think that's a crazy thing to do?
Oh,
Okay.
we get good shit from it.
Blessing of the General. After you draft a red room, if you have at least 5 different ranks containing... Jesus Christ. Okay. At least 5 different ranks containing red rooms? What a nightmare. If your run is shit and you're totally fucked, get 5 gems. Yeah, I guess I'll need them. It feels like it's a lot better on a day where you draft the shelter. Okay,
Also,
so...
what do you think of this house from the outside? It's a garish-looking house, isn't it?
So, a thing that's worth noting about this is that we did not get the same blessing as the last time we put in 25 coins, but we did get the blessing for the same duration.
Okay.
Not necessarily information. Not, you know. It's tough because it's like, does the amount of money, you know, make you choose a blessing from certain, like a pool, or is the amount of money determining the length, or does the, like, you know, it could be like there's a set of blessings for 10 to 20 coins and a set for 0 to 10, you know? So
Parlor,
it's got to be the parlor. Tomorrow you'll start with keys is kind of, yeah. Give me a little bit of a tickle in my throat there. Okay, only one statement is true. A box next to this box is true. A box next to this box contains gems. Well, now.
Okay. So if the black box is true, it's in the white box, and if the black box is false, it could be in the blue box or the black box, I suppose. But
yeah, sorry
white...
about that. Okay, yeah. So yes, that's true. So that, yeah, if there is there any version of this? No, right? There's only one statement that has to do with the gems.
Yeah,
and it can only tell us whether the gems are in the white box or not.
right.
So
And
the gems
blue
must
and
be in the white box.
Cannot both be true. Yeah.
Okay, that's true. That's true. But I think we don't even have to evaluate it, because what I'm saying is, I think the gems can only be in the white box with this construction, because this is the only statement that could tell us where the gems are, and it can only tell us that they are in the white box.
Okay.
It can't tell us that they are in any of the others. So we don't even have to evaluate the puzzle. Well,
I mean, reading Nook.
a library that comes up facing the wrong way would not be a killer here. So yeah, I think a reading nook is a perfectly sensible draw. Okay, we did get a chest. You want to open it? You want to leave it?
Yeah, let's open it.
We do have lockpicks, so we're likely to use fewer keys on actual doors. And dice are very powerful. Okay, the library is even facing the correct direction.
The compass is paying off for us.
I wish I had a magnifying glass. Confronting a new book with no magnifying glass is always a little worrying. The Curse of Blackbridge. The legend of Blackbridge is one that's well known to the people of the Grand Realm, for versions of this tale have been passed down from generation to generation. With each new telling, the story has changed, becoming over the years more colorful, more verbose, and, as one might expect, increasingly horrifying. However, with so many renditions and unique personal touches, the task of confining and binding this tale to text seemed an ambitious and impossible challenge. Over the course of my research, I have heard dozens of variations of the legend, and while the details would often change, I was surprised how much of the story's heart remained the same. Yet, the more I listened, the clearer it became that there could never be a definitive version of this tale capable of capturing all the wonder and myth of Blackbridge. In the end, I chose to write down what felt most authentic, the story my grandmother told me as a boy long ago. Part 1, The Berry Picker from Oris. Okay, settle in here. It sounds like this is actually going to be quite a book. Many years ago, before peace had become a familiar word, there lived a group of rogues so wayward that the locals deemed it appropriate to call their number the Unholy Hounds. What a way to use the word wayward. They were feral outlaws, composed of society's worst, in a time when society was at its worst, and for each crime that fearful travelers credited to the group, a dozen more lay unclaimed, each worse than the last. For the gentry, however, who often value their coffers more than their companions, no crime could measure more wicked than the group's primary enterprise, high-road robbery. One such member of this so-called band of rogues was a boy of 13 years, Jesper, who had not been lucky in life, having lost 2 brothers to war and parents to famine. In the years of hunger that followed, Jesper lived in a gutter behind a churchyard, relying on the nourishment of scurrying bugs and weeds harvested from the cracks of the alleyway to sustain his pitiful existence. It is not surprising that a child aiming to escape such hardships would take any easy road out, an easy and well-traveled road paved with temptations, leading out of the city and into the gentry lands, where loose purse strings entwine with the strands of salvation and glisten equally with the hope of opportunity. It was this road that eventually led Jesper to the end of his youth, a hidden cave at the bottom of Blackbridge Canyon. It was here that he met his surrogate family and saviors, that notorious gang of godless outlaws known as the Unholy Hounds. Despite the hardened circumstances that had led him to the vocation of banditry, Jesper was surprisingly tender-hearted, and was often teased by the group for being too kind for such an ignoble life. For this reason, Jesper was assigned the innocent role of berry picker. It was not just innocence that set berry picking apart from the gang's more wicked undertakings, for it was the only duty performed without the safety of night's concealment. Jesper, no stranger to solitude, did not protest that he alone worked while the others slept soundly, tucked away in the cave at the bottom of Blackbridge Canyon. On one such occasion, Jesper decided to get an early start. He left the cave, berry basket in hand, and set out into the woods before the morning sun had even brushed against the tallest treetops. It was colder in the mornings, but the headway dawn afforded meant Jesper could reach the furthermost berry patches without worry of being chastised for tarrying upon his return. It took over 3 hours on foot to reach his destination, and along the way Jesper had passed by many a familiar bush, all priorly pillaged, and so bereft of berries that one would have to dedicate several moments to earnest examination before finding a single one. Jesper was patient, but even patience has its limits. He was confident that even accounting for the time lost to this long stretch of travel, his efforts would be well worth the pains. Surveying the patches in this new grove surprised even Jesper. The red dots suspended among the leaves seemed as numerous as stars in the skies. Upon seeing such a bounteous sight, he clutched his berry basket tightly and nearly toppled over out of joy. Once he had regained his senses, Jesper quickly made a decision. He would not reveal the location of this newfound treasure. Instead, he would earn the respect of his confederates who, upon seeing his yield, might attribute the success to hard work. Smiling at his plan, Jesper set off to fill his basket and was making steady strides in this task when the sound of thundering hooves interrupted him. A carriage! A carriage is approaching! The thought of it made Jesper freeze. Had he been so enchanted by his discovery that he had neglected to observe his surroundings? How could a roadway be so close? He ducked down and crept toward the impending sound, hiding behind one of the larger bushes nearby. Well, it was only a moment before the sound's source revealed itself. Within 50 paces of where Jesper hid, an elegant carriage with gold trim came soaring around a corner of trees, led by two beautiful white horses and conveyed by a stern-looking driver seated atop the vehicle, flaunting the most sophisticated regalia Jesper had ever seen. Why, this was not just any carriage, it was a royal carriage. Even without ever having witnessed such a sight before, Jesper was certain. The sight had so transfixed Jesper that he stood awestruck, unable to tear away as the carriage approached. The little concealment the bush provided was soon proven unequal to the driver's lofty perch, and upon spotting the boy, he pulled the reins with such effect that the noble steed slid to a sudden halt with precise control. "You boy, get out from behind that bush!" he shouted with a rigidity that betrayed a modest amount of fear. "You startled me half to death, coming around the bend of my own drive and me seeing such an unfamiliar face in a place where there ought not to be any face." Jesper quickly contemplated running. The man was much older, and his dress was suitable for courtly behavior, not dashing through the bramble and mud. I was picking berries." Jesper raised the half-filled basket up to allow the driver to see the proof of his words. The demeanor of the man suddenly changed. It was a change that Jesper was familiar with. He had many times seen the same stern expressions on the most fiendish bandits melt away when presented with a berry basket. Any suspicions that the driver might have had instantly evaporated, for even the notion of a member of the Unholy Hounds picking berries seemed farcical. The softened expression even made allowances for a smile. "Oh, berries, eh? Well, say, you couldn't have picked a better spot for them, could you? I used to pick berries here as a boy." Jesper took his cue to finally step forward out from behind the bush, proudly brandishing his basket. I know, and what luck I found them. I've only just begun picking, and look how many I have. It would have taken me fourfold the time back home to procure this number." The driver bent down for a closer look. "And where is your home, boy? It must be quite far." Jesper replied with a scripted response. "A little south of Tanner Fork, just past the burnt woods." "Oh, my God, that is far. You couldn't have come all that way only this morning." It was true, Tanner Fork was in the exact opposite direction that Jesper had traveled, and while that response would seem perfectly reasonable in a location closer to Blackbridge, he could see why it might seem less believable here. "Oh, sir, I have traveled much farther for much less profit. I dare say there's no distance yet made by man that would not be worth undertaking for a prize such as these. Surely you've tasted them for yourself." Jesper felt happier with this response, as it seemed to amplify the man's smile. "Well, in my youth often, but perhaps I took it for granted because I never had to travel very far. And even then, my father would always drive us here in our carriage, so I'm ashamed I never had to walk such a stretch to earn an equal reward." It was Jesper's time to smile. "Then let my efforts reward us both today." He raised the basket even higher. "A taste in memory of your youth, sir." The driver chuckled and removed one glove, bending over the seat to reach down to the basket. And at the moment his fingers touched the first berry, the dagger in turn met his throat, cutting through a superficial layer of skin and drawing blood. Jesper caught the man's startled eyes. "And for that taste I will have your purse, sir, in memory of my youth." The driver's arm had gone stiff, his chin raised and trembling, more frightened than he had ever been before. Whether unable or incapable of speaking, he did not respond to the boy. Perhaps he did not think his jaw could afford to be engaged at this particular time. Jesper let the basket drop, freeing his other hand to probe the man's pockets. "Do not mistake me, sir. I will not kill you if you give me no cause, though I will admit the thought of taking your carriage and leaving you the indignity of walking appeals to me." Unable to find a purse in the man's coat, Jesper pivoted to search the seat under him. "Why have you no purse upon your person?" The driver slowly raised his hand, cautiously, pointing toward the carriage door behind him. Jesper lowered the knife's edge a small degree to allow the man to speak, which he did, in turn, softly. "There's a lockbox in the carriage." "Well, come down then, and grant me the courtesy of sparing your life and binding your hands, a concession I assure you of my tender heart, for it would be much easier to slit your throat. The man started to comply, slowly lowering himself from the driver's seat of the carriage. Once down, Jesper guided him away from the carriage to a nearby tree where he instructed him to get on his knees and put his hands behind his back. Excusing his inexperience, the man indulged Jesper while he figured out how to adequately bind him. The smile and kindness Jesper had seen on this man's face now nothing more than a distant memory. In their place, cold, dark eyes displaying no emotion. I wonder, should I grant you the same clemency you are showing me? Jesper stopped, surprised by the question, but ignored it, secured the final bindings, and then hastily returned to the carriage. With one hand on the door's handle, he turned back to the man. If there is no lockbox, there will be no clemency. Inside, the carriage was surprisingly dusty and unswept, a stark contrast to the elegant and polished golden facade of the exterior. It had apparently been many years since a passenger had enjoyed passage in this vehicle. This all but confirmed what Jesper had suspected. The driver of this carriage was not a liveried servant in the employ of some greater master. Any curiosity that this observation might have further produced was quickly abandoned upon seeing what rested under the carriage's back seat. A large wooden lockbox. Despite its hefty appearance, the box was surprisingly easy to handle. Within a few minutes, Jesper had dislodged it from its hold and carried it out into the sunlight. Inspecting the box carefully, 2 observations were made. Totemic symbols found carved on all 4 sides of the box hinted that the box was very old and likely not created by Orindian hands. It reminded him of artifacts from the Old World, and was presumably crafted in one of the ancient realms. Secondly, the box was secured by a rusted yet robust padlock, and would not open easily without a key. Jesper looked over to see the driver quietly observing him from his indentured position. Do you perhaps have a key you can provide me to open this box? Without emotion, the driver replied, There is no key to that box. Jesper stood up. Oh, easy enough then. He headed over to a nearby rock of sizable dimensions and lifted the stone up, carrying it back to the box. If there was ever a time when that lock had been resistant to brute force, it wasn't recent. With one hit, the stone had completely shattered the rusted lock. He bent back down and opened the lid. Inside was an effigy, a crude figure chiseled from stone. Without too much deliberation, Jesper bent down and picked it up, somewhat surprised how heavy it seemed, given how light the box had felt. Having expected to find something more akin to gold or gems, he looked questioningly to the man, hoping to find an explanation. The driver's smile had once again returned. Oh, you are cursed, boy, for deadly is the stone. You have opened that which should never have been opened, and you are cursed. Jesper carried the effigy over to the man and shoved it in front of his face. What is it? That's one. Feeling his disappointment rising to anger now, Jesper tightened his grip on the effigy. One what, you mumbling agentor? And in God's name, why have you no purse upon your person? The man did not seem intimidated. 1 pace. He paused for effect. 12 more, and you will be dead. He only had a second to flinch before the effigy struck him in the head and put an end to his cryptic ramblings. If there was ever a time when the old man had been resistant to brute force, it wasn't recent. Jesper looked down at the sculpted stone figure, now splattered red. Was it cursed? Was he cursed? He had, of course, heard stories of curses, and had never doubted their validity in the past. But now that he was standing face to face with the possibility of being cursed, his mind pleaded with him to be skeptical. And if he was cursed, well, what difference would the knowledge make? A dozen more paces would not be enough to find another living soul, to say nothing of the chances of procuring a remedy. If he did not move from where he now stood, he could live maybe another 3 or 4 days, maybe more, given the abundance of nearby berries. A plan that, if we ignore its obvious faults, might provide additional opportunities for help to come along. But what good would that do? To be discovered here, beside a body, stolen goods in hand, bloated from berries and raving about a curse that could very well not be real. No, it would most certainly be better to face one's fate now, take a dozen paces, and see if life goes on. But Jesper found his legs unable to make that first step. His mind was unable to convince his limb to waste away 1/12 of his life in a single motion. Feeling the desperation sink in, he hopelessly looked about him for a solution. And if by some stroke of luck the gods had heard his plea, a miracle materialized before him, as if he found himself suddenly at the end of a fairy tale. 2 white horses and a carriage of golden trim were beside him, the answer to his immediate prayers. He laughed at his fortune and calculated the short number of paces back to the road. 4. Perhaps only 3 if he jumped. He made a quick survey to see if there was anything he wished to grab before taking the plunge. He thought about removing the driver's fancy coat, as that appeared to be of some value, but the additional risk of undertaking such a task too great to chance. And so, after a profound breath, he took his 2nd, 3rd, and 4th steps, though they were quite large. Seated now behind the horses, he reached for the reins and suddenly realized he was still gripping the effigy. If the curse was real, then it would most certainly be better left here. If, on the other hand, the story was fictitious, there might be some appraisal that could be made of the figure. It was, after all, found within a lockbox, whose typical function oft secures objects of value. Having witnessed firsthand the horrors of destitution, Jesper found his mind equally reluctant to allow his hand to let go. If it is cursed, I die. If not today, then tomorrow. And if I die, what care have I? And with that statement said aloud, to the horses, seemingly, Jesper took up the reins with confidence. Part 2. Below the Black Bridge. Amabel.
Yeah.
I'm surprised by the amount of text in this book.
I am too. Yeah, this is a lot. A lot of text.
I'm okay. I got a lot of water over here. How you like? You know what? You know what I want to say. I think this is good so far. I'm actually digging. I'm enjoying the story.
I still think the writing's pretty clumsy and overridden, but it's better than some of the other stuff.
Okay, I have thoughts about that, but I'm going to save them until the end. Miller awoke to some light nudging from a familiar foot. Only one person would have the cheek to awaken her in such ill-mannered fashion. Shaking the sleep from her eyes, she glared up at him in the darkness, but did not say a word. He nudged her again, teasingly, then stepped back into the dim. After taking a moment for her eyes to adjust to the darkness of the cave, Miller remembered. She was on 3rd watch today. Quietly collecting her things and wits, Miller turned as she left, waving to her young friend, who was more than likely already asleep. She crept through the cavern's main passage, careful to not wake the sleeping bandits around her. Like a hero in a book, she often mused. Quietly, she grabbed a bow from the haphazardly formed pile of weapons, shaking the accompanying quiver in the darkness to assess how many arrows it held. She then walked toward the sun-drenched mouth of the cavern, ready to start her shift. Above her, in one of the few trees found in the canyon, Miller could see that Ravia was already posted, and Ravia waved back. Calling out to each other was strictly forbidden. Anything louder than a gesture in the canyon was forbidden. When Miller reached the tree, Ravia lowered a braided rope and pointed to the ground behind her. Miller turned, following the finger, and saw a pail of water resting beside a nearby log. She turned to Ravia, nodded, and secured the pail to the rope. The pail went up first, and in turn, Miller followed. Ravia reached across to grab the water. Miller leaned back to give her space. There was not much room for maneuvering in the tree post, a necessary concession for the concealment the outpost demanded. Ravia tilted the pail up toward her mouth dramatically, illustrating how thirsty she had been. Miller laughed silently as water poured out, splashing onto Ravia's face. It was a bit too daring and noisy of a joke, and had the others been around, they would have certainly been scolded for the unwarranted sound. But Miller appreciated the efforts Ravia took to verbalize the silence of the morning. They'd been on 3rd watch together for over a month, and during that speechless time their friendship had grown into something special. Affection was unsurprisingly scarce among the unholy hounds. She had felt camaraderie before, of course, but intimacy, never. From their elevated vantage, the girls could see both the concealed entrance of the cavern as well as a clear view of the bridge that spanned across the canyon. Blackbridge was the link between the Gentrylands and the northern mountains, the overpass that connected Oris and Reddington. To the city-faring travelers of the realm, the bridge was an unavoidable crossing. In the day, the task was to ensure that travelers passed by without stopping. At night, the task was to ensure that they do. That's very strangely written. Ensure that they do. Okay. Like most of her band, Miller preferred the night. The biting glare of the sun might be tolerable to farmhands and bricklayers, but to a cavern-housed bandit, it was a source of constant annoyance. In the day, there was no shroud to conceal her expressions, nor to hide her thoughts. She felt exposed. Ravia touched her elbow and pointed up. Miller, striving to suppress a budding smile, subtly shook her head in response. There were many signs that the unholy hounds used in lieu of words, but the two of them had developed an extended vocabulary. Gestures quietly forged in the shared solitude of their month among the branches. She watched as Ravia shifted, placing her palms flat on the floorboards beneath them. Miller knew what she was trying to say, but shook her head a second time. It was often more fun to pretend not to understand. Ravia rolled her eyes and turned away, looking back to the canyon. Squinting through the leaves, the two girls held still, watching and listening. It was not long until Miller, too, heard the sounds of approach.
I want to say,
Yeah.
this part so far, these feel like people. I like this so far.
Okay. Ravia held up two bent fingers, and a few moments later, two men emerged from the bridge's southern end. They were dressed in a familiar uniform, long gray coats with black facings, white waistcoats, and black tricorn hats. They belonged to the local patrol, the Black Guard. Though not an everyday occurrence, their presence at Black Bridge wasn't an unusual sight. It typically indicated an important traveler's impending passage across the bridge, information that the girls would promptly relay to their leaders as soon as the coast was clear. But this report, while exciting, was rarely acted upon. In Miller's 5 years in the Unholy Hounds, she had never once seen a carriage taken in open daylight when the Blackguard was nearby. The men had nearly reached the bridge's north end when Miller heard the horses, faintly at first, but growing louder with each passing moment. Ravia's eyes met Miller's, the same concern mirrored in each other's expression. Well, this did not sound like a typical carriage, cautiously approaching the bridge to cross. Instead of the familiar crunch of the high road's gravel, they heard the harsh clattering of hoofbeats against stone. Both girls quickly redirected their attention downwards, looking through the foliage. The sounds were not coming from the high road, but from the canyon itself. The horses were coming from below the bridge. In an instant, Miller had knocked an arrow and drawn her bow. Go. Ravia was gone before the whisper had even left Miller's mouth. The young scout was already sliding down the bank below, racing toward the cave. There was no road that ran below the canyon. There was no reason for numerous horses to be approaching their cave. There was only one reasonable conclusion, and both girls had reached it instantly. The base had been compromised. This was a Blackguard attack. The moment the horses came into view, Miller let loose her first arrow. She was surprised to see a carriage. She had expected cavalry. Before she even finished processing that thought, her second arrow was in the air. Without a trail, it would be unthinkable for a carriage to traverse such rough terrain. Yet she watched as the wheels jolted over the rocky riverbed. A third arrow was now in flight, and there would be no need for a fourth. The driver slumped over just moments before the vehicle dipped into a small ditch, slamming into an embankment. The force of this sudden halt immediately shattered the front two wheels and catapulted the driver from his seat. Utterly confused now, Miller quickly glanced over her shoulder to see if any horses were also approaching from the rear. Down in the canyon, the entire horde of the Unholy Hounds came spilling forth from the earth as if hell itself had suddenly sprung open. The group seemed even more bewildered than Miller, half asleep and tripping over one another in a desperate attempt to engage an unseen enemy in combat. Miller could see Ravia among their number, the only one looking up at her. Her expression was chilling. There would be no need for a silent gesture to convey what they both now realized. They had made a mistake. The gang's chieftain, Jeffrey Heartslasher, led the others, cautiously approaching the crashed carriage, like a suspicious fox would near a baited trap. There were no words exchanged as the group crept forward in customary silence. A dozen or so paces in front of the wreckage lay the far-flung driver, an arrow protruding from his broken body, and beside him, a blood-stained effigy carved from stone. Miller was inconsolable. Jesper had always been her favorite. He had always shadowed her in the night, clinging to the hems of her every move, the way a child tails behind an older sibling. Tender-hearted, she had called him, though deep down she had known that wasn't quite true. His appearance of gentleness contained a raw, resilient durability that emerged in the most perilous of situations. He had been a flower among the nettles of this cave, but he still had thorns, honed by a grim past and 100 hands of misfortune. They buried him in the darkness, in the back of one of the larger cavern rooms. He was interred with a berry basket and a silk handkerchief that he had treasured. The mysterious effigy they had found beside him served as a distinguished gravestone, a marker that stood out as somewhat special among the rows of similar swords marking neighboring plots. No one spoke, not even in whispers. There was nothing to say. Miller awoke the next day to a thunderous shaking and rattling of the earth, a far cry from the playful nudging of the previous day. She strained to adjust her eyes, but the choking sting of stirred-up dust caused her to flinch. Panic was also in the air. The sounds of scurried footsteps and clattering feet filled the space around her. But even in alarm, the silence was louder. What was it that sounded so strange? Miller closed her eyes tight and used her feet to guide her along the passage. The whispers around her were getting louder, and intense voices could be heard ahead. Louder speech than she had ever heard spoken in the canyon. A growing dread grew as Miller approached the mouth of the cave. Her eyes now open wide despite the dust. Shouldn't it be day? Miller felt a hand in the darkness, pulling at her. It was Ravia. The two embraced, and Miller did not need to see her to understand. Ravia placed 2 bent fingers against Miller's cheek, and with that touch against her face, Miller felt the same sinking feeling from the previous day. 2 bent fingers confirmed what Miller had suspected. The girls had forgotten to relay one critical piece of information to the others. An hour or so later, the screams began. Blood-curdling cries of hopeless desperation. Captain Fodrick Lee of the Blackguard looked down from the ridge of the canyon to the collapsed entrance of the cave. Ah, he grinned. Now they speak. Hey, Amabel, it's your turn to talk now.
Yeah, okay. That, well, we now know about the curse of Blackbridge. Yeah. What do you think of that?
So I think that the idea that that was overwritten is a little bit silly because I think that that's kind of what it's going for.
You might be right, but
Captain Jeffrey
so much of it-
Heartslasher.
Jeffrey Artslasher is a really strong name. But I do feel like because so much of the game feels so overridden,
Okay.
like just that it's harder for me to see it as a.
I can see that, I guess, yeah.
But I do think the second chapter, second part, it was some reasonably good action stuff and a little bit of character work, and I think that I enjoyed that more than the first part. The first part, I enjoyed like the kind of folktale-ness of it,
Mm-hmm.
where I feel the kind of overwrittenness of it maybe detracted from that a little bit for me.
But that's what? What? What are you talking about? You're crazy.
I don't know a lot. When I've read books of folk tales,
Mm-hmm.
um, they're a little more
They're dramatic.
concise.
They have big silly details and
Yeah,
weird bits of alliteration.
I enjoyed some of that. You know, like the writing was not as bad as other parts of the game. Maybe I'm just a sourpuss. So, what are you thinking here, sweetie?
Yeah, I'm
You gave
debating
me.
between like a laboratory to set up an experiment versus armory to see if like the armory. It should be laboratory. The armory is absolutely just to see because we don't have the money to make use of it anyway. We should take the
Yeah.
lab. But there's part of me that's like, oh, is the axe there? Could we maybe get the axe? But yeah, it should be this. Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was interesting. It felt right for a story like of the time to me. Although I will
Okay.
say that my experience with those is not like tremendous. Um, Whenever you draft a shop room, gain a key for every 2 hallways. Maybe.
Yeah. That seems all right.
I don't think it's great. I don't think we had a great one available.
And I feel like the gain 1 star, like I don't know if the stars run out at a certain point. You know,
Yeah.
getting more stars is good, but we also are getting good stuff with each.
Yeah, I don't know for sure that getting more stars really matters, right? Like it's already the case that I don't know, that room pays out.
Yeah.
This seems like a fine time for a drawing room.
I think you're a fine time for a drawing room.
Okay. I hear what you're saying. We were just talking about the observatory, and I do like it, but given the way the doors are facing, this feels like a pretty good dining room.
Here, I think. Yeah.
This lets us run around a little bit more. Anything else going on here? Not really. But I'll take that. And Joya or Hoya, it's got to be Joya because of the joke, because of the pin. Okay, these do not. Well, I don't have a lighter today. So we don't really care about being further north, right? Like
Not particularly.
we just wanna open doors.
Is our thing about drafting shops? We don't have another hallway though.
Yeah, we don't have 2 hallways yet, so I do kind of want to hold off. Although I agree with you that the doors on this are nice, and this takes us to 0 gems, which is always scary.
Do you want to redraw?
Yeah.
I think passageway is a better use of 2 gems. Gives us 2 doors.
It does. We may have access to that space down there anyway.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the boudoir. This isn't that much worse, and it's +1 gem instead of -2. So I'm trying to think, like, what are we drafting toward right now? There's still new room plans to be gathered from the drafting studio or whatever it is. Right? So there's that.
So we're trying to draft the music room quite late, whatever that means.
Right, which could mean anything.
What are the other key things we're going for? Trying to find a throne.
Yeah, the other sanctum clues are. I have a note. Let me see here.
I don't know where the 3rd microchip's going to be.
Me neither.
Probably in a van providing support to the Punisher.
That seems unlikely. There are definitely rooms that we've drafted that we haven't seen yet, right? Then we picked a room or two. Like, have we been to the solarium?
No, not yet.
Okay, first key found here on the furthest rank. Second lock tighten the vault of a bank. We still need to stumble across a safe deposit box key and then also get a vault on the same run. That seems like completely arbitrary luck. Fifth key held by a king on his throne. Sixth in a station left by one of your own.
How do we get to
Seventh
the
is
station
Demetra.
again?
That who knows what that means.
We've been to the station.
The station?
We've been to a train station.
Oh, you mean that. Yeah. We could get to the station. I suppose it would require us to adjust the water level in the reservoir.
Right.
I'm debating here, re-rolling.
Yeah, reroll.
It's just, it feels a little aimless now, you know?
Yeah.
I don't hate a workshop, I suppose.
Okay. At the very least, there's usually an item in the workshop.
It is the least exciting item. All right. Compass plus. Nope. What a surprise. None of this stuff does anything. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess. All right. Well,
I think observatory, right?
yeah, I'm not opposed to blocking off the rest of the house because we have 3 different northward doors. This is the flower. This is the first diamond. Not bad overall.
Yeah, all right.
Draft ye some green rooms, they say. And then they give us this garbage. Well, I do believe it's chapel.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
If we get another shop where we need something expensive, we can always break open the piggy bank.
Yeah, that's true. Alright, lockpicks get the job done. Doesn't feel like a very good day for freezer. I feel like we always see the freezer when our amounts are like just kind of unimpressive, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So I guess security.
Yeah. Now, if we try to get the freezer next to the furnace, that
Yeah.
will do a thing, we were told. But
It was suggested that the furnace would have an effect on the rooms around it. Did I had not changed these. I didn't remember changing them. Alright, unlocks, confirms. That means we didn't use the Blackbridge protocol yet today. So
want to use it to spread stuff throughout the house?
I guess so. May as well, right? I don't know what else we would do with it. So yeah, we'll just throw some coins out there. Hooray, a number of coins. It did not strike me that it would spread stuff into the room we're currently in.
Yeah, this seems a little strange.
That's interesting. Okay, well, we already have access to this space through the chapel, so I really don't think the courtyard's bad.
Yeah.
And the courtyard sometimes has free stuff. Well, it has gems in it, at least. No shovel, though, is what I was hoping for. Alright, lockpicks get us there. And the break room does not dead end us. It opens in the other direction. That's pretty handy.
Okay.
That at least potentially gives us a key card for the morrow.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Did you know that 10 equals 10? Oh, right. I was gonna say that's such a high number, but right, this is the diamond, not the square. Yeah, 12. Okay, 10 times 10 is 100, minus 9 is 91, and then flip it for a 19. 9 times 9 is 81, and flip it for an 18. Get yourself 2 normal keys. Hooray! I'll say this, if the concern as far as drafted quite late is minutes, I did spend a long time reading that book.
It's true.
Okay, this is a situation where I think the passageway is a little bit more exciting.
Okay.
It really sticks us out into the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. And that means the dining room will be
that was the door I was most interested in, because I was like, we get such a good chamber of mirrors going here. But actually, the chamber of mirrors here would be good too. It's just a matter of drawing it at the right time, you know? Conference room, rumpus room, conference room.
Okay, yeah.
Lots of doors still. Don't really want to spend my last gem. Not even for the great Alzara. Okay, and that's a key card door. I really use a key card.
I think he kind of sucks, so.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How come? Why does he suck?
He talks too slow.
Yeah, you're starting to talk too quiet. You leaning away from your microphone a little there?
No, I wasn't. That's peculiar.
I don't know. Gosh, what are we looking for? I guess I'll spend a key. I'm feeling just like a little short on like... I don't feel like I'm playing strategy very much right now because I don't feel like I have any idea what we want. We're just like...
Yeah, I mean, I'm also kind of in the
wandering. I guess an aquarium, right? We don't really want to see the locker room or the pump room would allow us to adjust the reservoir, I guess, but like...
We can do that another time.
I don't know that we care about that right now.
I'm going to suggest closet, actually, because maybe we'll get a shovel. Maybe we'll get a hammer, and we can go back and get some stuff.
Yeah.
Getting some items.
The commissary has a hammer in it. It does not have a shovel.
Yeah.
It has a hammer and a metal detector. Yeah, all right. I'm gonna overrule you and take the aquarium.
Okay.
We can still draft the dead end off of this room, but like the aquarium's a green room. Oh, I guess the aquarium's a shop too, isn't it? I wasn't thinking about that.
Yeah.
It's every color. Plus, it's got this morale boosting friend.
He's a good friend.
All right. Well, we'll use our newly found key. We don't get to do anything fun with the lavatory. The conservatory, again, I feel like most of the time we just end up not changing anything. May as well just take the bedroom. I don't know. We don't see the conservatory all that often.
I'm leaning towards conservatory.
And it's gonna have gems in it, right. This is a gem positive draft, not a gem negative draft. 'Cause flower. Or at least neutral. Okay. Gift shop is... I don't believe the gift shop is rare. That seems very unlikely to me. We see this shit all the time. I don't know. I don't really want to like. Aside from it being a room that has 3 doors in it, we don't. There's nothing in there that we actually want to buy it anymore. I think. So
Well, there's some that cost $100
yeah,
dollars. Dare Bird.
yeah. It opens up dare mode. I don't know that I really need another mode.
Yeah.
The terrace being standard is probably fine.
And we could make it more like
The only thing I
common.
might bump it up a level of rarity because dead ends is the only thing I
Right.
would think about this.
Okay.
But honestly, I think it's fine. Like it's a dead end, but it's a powerful dead end. Casino's unusual. That's probably about where that. I don't know, man. This is what I was saying. Like, I almost never feel like it's worth adjusting things.
Okay, but if we had pulled up the solarium in that
Sure.
and could make it so yes, you could see it.
Yeah. I mean, if wishes were horses.
I mean, secret passage, right?
Secret passage into a green room?
Or into a shop so we get another key.
Yeah.
Either one seems good to me.
It's probably shop. It's probably shop. Who locked the interior of the secret passage? Who would do that? What an asshole. Okay, remarkably, this is not locked. It's not impossible that we can hit all 4 sides of the chamber of mirrors if it's here. We'd have to find a thing to pull, but there are things to pull. Right in this position. In this position, it's
things,
the.
would we not?
What?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
In this position, it's the weight room, or where's the other middle one? The greenhouse, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, you're right. We'd have to open another door to
Get in the antechamber and
Yeah.
then in through that door. That doesn't feel super likely with this one.
I hear
We
you.
can try for it.
I don't think it feels super likely to get it over here and pull it off either, though. I'm going to take it. Perhaps this is foolishness, but we get to play with it a little bit more than usual because we already have another entrance to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's play around. Where's the dining room? Dining room's all the way down there. Okay. Not that our step count is short anyway, but you know. Okay, so that opens that, and there's an orange in there. Yoink. Okay. Nothing else doing. All right. Then at this point we head to the drawing room, or not the passageway. That's a key card door. We head to the drawing room, which is through the courtyard. Wait, but we got to get there through the passageway. It's actually a very inconvenient walk. Oh no, my dollar. So yeah, we're in a phase of the game where I'm feeling a little like I'm feeling the frustration of the randomness more.
Yeah.
For sure. So it feels like a lot of runs are relying on a larger quantity of luck than they used to. More and more, we need like 2 specific rooms to occur next to each other so that a thing might happen because we don't even know what it is we're looking for. Stuff like that.
Yeah. No, I agree. The big picture stuff is still really fascinating, but it's
The observatory is maybe not great. We still have dice, right? Do we spend our dice?
yeah. No, we spent our dice, but we get a redraw from this room.
Well, that's not what I'm concerned about.
Okay.
What I'm concerned about is taking the observatory. The observatory gave us a key and a gem, the flower thing, and
And the apples.
the apples. So observatory is pay a gem to take a key and a gem. Well, actually, sorry. It'll give us a star, won't it? So it'll change what we get.
That's right.
Might be more stuff.
I would say either go for it or maybe do the kennel just so we have a straight shot up.
Yeah, that's the question, right? Is do we want the observatory or do we want better doors? If I was going to take better doors, I honestly might just redraw. Instead of taking the kennel, which is kind of not good for us this time.
Yeah.
But I think I'm going to be potentially deeply foolish and take the observatory. Does she pay the price? Well, pretty diamondy.
I mean, that's pretty good.
I mean, that's pretty good, is the thing about that. And then this door wasn't even locked. It is, unfortunately, trying to dead end us.
Okay, but we can utility closet to turn off the security doors, right?
Amabel, you're a genius. I'm trying to click on the gymnasium. Okay. Amabel, you sweet, spicy genius.
I have my moments.
Huh. Thought I saw something in the shadow there. Probably it's just me going mad very rapidly.
That doesn't sound great.
What's my mind for? Great question. If you ever figure it out, please tell me. We just hadn't opened this? It's weird.
I mean, veranda could have a shovel in it. It sometimes has a shovel.
Yeah. Well, it's got a metal detector. It's not super great this late in the run, but, you know, it's something. You would hope to see that earlier. Lockpick? Spending our last key here? Probably not.
Yeah.
This will have opened this door. The Great Hall.
Picture, right?
The Great Hall puts a fourth hallway. Oh, it's a fifth hallway, right? Because the aquarium. It gives us potential access to. So what I'm thinking with the Great Hall is that we have one real key and a lockpick. And so our likelihood of getting some exit out of the room, and like, it has a lever in it, right?
Yeah.
The lever for the side the aquarium's on, if I'm not mistaken.
That could be. Yeah. Do you want to go for it?
Seems a little silly, but also it could be so good.
I think a cloister's a better idea, but if you want to go Great Hall, go Great Hall.
Yeah. I'm trying to win big Win big, lose big. Okay, the first thing we do is we actually just... Well, okay, it's the other side. The first thing we do is we try to lockpick each of the doors. Then we can use the metal detector to fucking feel out the vibes or whatever. Okay, nothing. 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 Okay, interesting. Patio's pretty compelling, I think.
We haven't been in the solarium.
I know. But
I think solarium's better.
I think you're unlikely to draw unusual and rare rooms while drafting when there's 5 rooms left in the, it's a lot less interesting now than it would be at any other point in the run.
There's also a bunch of rooms off the
I know, but like I'm trying to make this chamber of mirrors work right now.
Well, here's the thing. I keep suggesting things, and you just do whatever you want. So I'm suggesting solarium, and then you pick the patio, and we'll see how it goes.
The patio doesn't guarantee anything about access to the chamber of mirrors, and the solarium is a room we haven't seen yet.
Mm-hmm.
All right. No, I think... Okay, all right. Hey, it's got a puzzle box in it. Where's my extra flowers? There. Oh, there's one on the table. Pawn. Some notes. While face to face with the angel, press the base of the 2 pillars on either side of you. It's all about the bases of things lately. Mr. Nagula, Anne wanted me to remind you once again that it is expected of you to keep the grass in the cloister cut and the trees trimmed. I have a feeling you may have forgotten how to open the cloister wall again, so to save you some stern words, I decided to draw you a little diagram to help you out. Who knows, maybe this time it will stick. Sympathetically, Bridget.
That's not a sympathetic letter. That's...
It's kind of sympathetic. What do you
mean? No, I'm sorry. They're like, maybe it will stick this time.
Oh, that's right. The yellow ones just go up. So this one wants to be green. Diamonds is green. So the yellow ones just go up. Oh wait, the greens they swap, right? Yeah. Okay. So then we swap you, put you up here, swap you, and then do that and that. Amabel, diamonds is green.
Also, now we know how to get in the cloister.
Also, Amabel, diamonds is green. Maybe write that down. That's a realm sigil thing, right? Okay, well we found the one that leads to the south entrance that isn't there. Wow, the lockpick's actually been remarkably good here. So the whole north side is unpickable. This is loot.
Yeah.
So either of the other ones could be the door. And I'm probably more interested in the door, with the exception that the loot often does contain keys.
I say try for the doors.
Yeah, I think that's the smart one. So unfortunately, I really have no way of knowing. There's absolutely no...
Well, you have 2 keys.
Yeah, there's no way to guess. So show me luck. Hey, luck. All right. We may be back for you yet. Hey, it's a cloister.
And we know how to get in there.
Although it doesn't matter because we don't have a shovel. Well, it matters a little bit because the gems.
Yeah, who knows?
So press the...
Oh, facing the angel, press against...
I don't know if this is good advice. Oh, it gives you absolutely no indication. There's no button or anything. You just click I don't know if I like that. 0 feedback. Was this always here?
I don't think so. We haven't been able to see it anyway.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
just
it was
weird because
obscured
I've
from the
definitely
angle.
looked. Mr. Nagula, if you are reading this, it seems that the day has finally come and the cloister is at long last getting some much overdue maintenance. No, this is not apologetic. I have left you a literal token of appreciation to serve as positive reinforcement, which should grant you a bit of extra spending money each day while working on the estate. We have learned from our dealings with your predecessor that it is much cheaper in the long run to be generous.
I don't like Mrs. Babbage. Can we do the arm thing? No.
No.
Okay.
Okay, so third button. Oh, a new level of progress with this room, I'll say that. And look at all these oranges. Amabel, we'll never have scurvy again.
We'll never have scurvy again.
No orange.
No, you've been over here.
Oh, yeah, you're correct. That's true. Did I press this one already? No.
No, because now you don't need to get in the antechamber to get to that one. That's good.
Yeah, actually, that's a very important point. But anyway, now we can access the central button because that was the door we needed to come from. Okay, that's interesting. Amabel, accomplishments.
Yeah, we did some.
Wait, what do I do now? I assume I can't actually access these doors.
I don't.
I tried pressing the button and backing quickly off the thing.
Sweetheart, you understand what this means?
No.
We have Castlevania'd it. The castle is upside down.
Oh my god. Let me through.
You didn't unlock the double jump.
I don't have a double jump. I don't have a backdash. Like, what the fuck? How am I supposed to navigate this place? What did this do? Why was this valuable?
I'm sure there's something we're missing.
Probably. Can you find it?
I'm looking.
If I lowered some of these partitions,
yeah,
they'd be down there, but like that doesn't do anything either, right?
Well, we don't know.
None of these places have anything in them.
Yeah, could we try to go back down and
lower the side
one of
partitions?
the buttons and see if
Sure, yeah, I can try. Let me see what I can access without closing stuff off. So yeah, like if I put that down, then we go up, and that's open. But do these buttons do anything? No, these buttons are not interactable. Okay, all right. You found a duplicate copy of one of your floor plans. Oh, yeah, we should definitely put an additional break room in the drafting pool. This is a good room. Okay, so the little cabinets are the treasure here. So I need to get at least one door to each of these side things open. So let me walk around here. What does this one do? Okay, that gives us that corner. Okay, that's problematic. I need that up. That doesn't help. Sorry, I'm working on it.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, that's bad. That one we need. Good. All right, hold on. I'm just going to go up and hit those two real quick. All right, some money.
He's not bad.
He's not bad. And you...
I think we probably got the major prize already.
Yeah, maybe. It's not a horrible prize, I suppose. Right, I knew that. Yeah. Wait. This is... All right, this is because this is the only one of these that is in the upstate, so... This being up is not helpful. Okay, I think it's that button then. How do I get this one to come up? No, not you. There we go. You have to run around and press the original button, I think. Nope, that's not it. Shit, how did I... Because I need that gap to...
Yeah.
But it was controlled by that button. Which means we would need one of these other middle ones to come down, but none of them do that.
What does the button directly so if you move over one, then the one that's directly across from it, what does that one do again?
I'm sorry, if I do what?
Okay, there's you see where the middle button is?
Yeah.
The one that's to the left of it's I don't know what the one that's forward from that.
Forward
what does
from
that button do?
This. Amabel, are you familiar with the words right?
Okay, the room with the fireplace, the den. What does the button coming off the den do?
Are you familiar with the words right and left? You could save yourself a lot of trouble.
I have difficulty with three-dimensional space. Okay. You know this.
Yeah, but that's not the same thing. It closes that.
No, that just closes, yeah.
Which is actually fine if I'm in there already, but... Actually, I wonder. No, but then I'll be trapped in there forever. I'll be able to get it up, but when I get it back down, I'll starve to death. Yeah, no, we need one of these two to change state, but not both of them, not everything all at once. And we can cheat this a little bit by running, like I can move while they're sliding. So I need to... That would work. Yeah. Okay, so...
Go.
Yeah, that'll do it.
I think it's probably the intent solution to the puzzle, too. I think...
Except now I can't press this button anymore? This button don't button now.
Why doesn't it button anymore?
I don't know. I guess it... It's a great question. Maybe it requires a certain number of the walls to be in the up position. That one brings that one down. Maybe the elevator itself only works maybe it only runs a couple of times? Not clear to me. Not clear to me why. I don't care for it, though. Well, Amabel, we may have to,
If you get them all up again, will the button work?
No.
Okay. It might be a number of times then.
Yeah, maybe it only operates a couple of times. Well, it's annoying. We can certainly do it again at some point in the future.
Yeah. That feels like progress.
Kinda. Alright, what else are we looking for? Well, taking the vault now and hoping for the vault key later, like, because the vault's rare, right? So
yeah,
we can just hope that a vault key drops at some point.
We can buy a hammer.
Does that do anything?
There's chests.
Are there normal? Where?
No, not in here, but in the house. There are two chests in the entrance hall and one in the.
Ah. Okay. Sure.
And we saw at least one chest in one of the rooms. I don't know. I'm trying to be positive.
Okay, I don't know how much. Well, there's something we can do. Is like we're looking for value. We're looking for specific things. We don't even know what really. Unfortunately. Okay, 13 becomes 31 minus 20 is 11. Divided by 11 is 1. 10 is 0, 1, I assume, times 20 is 20. 13 is 31 plus 1 is 32. Flipped again to 23 minus 20 is 3. Okay, not what I was hoping for. It's pretty bad pull in my opinion. Lockpick does not want to play along. Do we spend a key here? There's a key in the commissary. We do have the ability to buy keys in the commissary.
Yeah.
Feels like a weird... Fuck it.
Might as well use it, yeah.
We can't quite run the trophy room, but we can play a third break room.
Right.
Thanks to the Chamber of Mirrors, we can follow our break room with a break room, and thus hopefully get 2 real keys this time. Okay, so 10 times 10 is 100, minus 9 is 81. Flip it to 18. No? Did I do something wrong? Add 10, multiply by 10. Subtract 9 is 91. 91. What did I do? How did that happen? Math go fast is a recipe for trouble, no matter how much math you've done. 14 times 2 is 28. Flipped is 82. Minus 1 is 81. Times 1 and flipped again to 18. Okay, so 23 is 32. Minus that is 12. Plus 9 is 21. Flipped again is 12. Secret garden key. I mean, there's still spaces where we can secret garden. I don't know that it's super helpful at this point.
Well, if we were a secret garden, oh, never mind.
Wait, is there a thing I missed? It's weird. I'm getting like a fairly tentative ping over here, and then... Huh. Do you see anything? Am I missing
I
something?
don't see anything.
Maybe it's telling me that there's metal in this dirt pile? I don't think it works that way, though, right?
Yeah, also, can I say
Yeah.
how fucking frustrating and it must be to be working in a fucking puzzle house?
Yeah.
Like, that just has no respect for, like, people's time or working class people at all.
Well, the casino is just throwing gems away. Because we just draft the gymnasium and don't go in.
Yeah.
The reading nook gets us a key, but then, like... I don't even know if I want a normal key at this point. And I'd rather have the library.
That was what was going to come off our secret passage that was locked. Yeah, I think gymnasium and don't go in is the right move.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Drafting the casino wouldn't be. Sorry, it would have been keys, because of the experiment. Well, why didn't you say something?
I forgot.
But you didn't forget, because you mentioned.
No, I mentioned the secret passage.
Right.
That,
which is relevant because of the experiment.
Oh no, I was thinking more about how we picked gold for the secret passageway and we couldn't get anything from it because the door was locked.
You're killing me, Amabel.
I was focused on something different.
Okay, chapel observatory. It's a whole scheme to get back to the corner of the house where we can still draft. We haven't picked any items up. That's not true. So we still don't have anything. Yeah? Huh?
No, because every time I'm like, hey, do some.
Wait.
Oh, we can do that. Yeah.
Oh, right, the sound amplifier. I don't think
That's not bad.
Yeah, but it removes the metal detector.
Yeah.
Do we care? I guess we care.
We've already built it. I wouldn't. I don't know. No.
You're so back and forth on this. It's impossible to get.
Because I suggest things and you're like, well, yeah, but I'm not going to do that. And that's fine. But it makes me very insecure.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Good, because I'm not.
Wow.
Yeah, got her.
You did. You did get her.
Okay. Well, owned. I'm sorry, my brain is completely fried. Owned. There wasn't a key back here. I thought I remembered there being a key. I apologize.
You want to get the gem anyway?
I'm going to buy all 5 of these gems. Fuck these gems. The courtyard is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's so many steps back.
But there are a couple in the entrance hall, I believe. So
yeah, let's go that way. Are there a couple in the entrance hall? Did we do a thing that spawned them?
I believe so. I could be talking out of my ass, but I remember seeing that.
We opened that one. What would it have been?
I don't. What does it? What puts a couple in the? Oh, it was an observatory effect.
Ah, okay. All right. Okay. Coins and stuff. Yeah, give me that stuff. And then give me all this stuff. Woo! 11 gems. See, now a freezer would be interesting. I guess let's start here, because we're more likely to dead end quickly. Another cloister is kind of not that great. I guess it opens up spaces. If we get a shovel, it'll be fun. Plus, it's going to give us back the gems. I guess is a good thing to remember. that that green room. The green room's giving gems thing. The conservatory, or not the conservatory. What is it that's making the green rooms give us gems again? I don't even remember.
The flower. Observatory effect.
Oh, right, the observatory effect, the flower, yeah. The observatory, Amabel. Huge today.
It's pretty fucking good, yeah.
Pretty fantastical, actually. I guess the rumpus room at this point, like, I don't, we have dice. Would you rather, like, look for something rare?
Yeah, I would.
Look for something weird?
Like, we can get that music room, you know?
Yeah, that's probably good. Fuck it. Den's facing the wrong way. The rotunda can rotate at least.
Yeah, let's do that. I don't take rotunda very often.
No, you know why?
Because it sucks.
Yeah, because it's garbage.
And it takes forever.
It's just like, what if a room was really bad? Yeah, you got me. It's fascinating. It's a... What a hypothetical. You can rotate the floor plans out of the rotunda, which is fun, I guess. I didn't remember that. But, like, that lets us turn the den around so that it's facing a sensible direction. Aw. No chest for us. Well, I'll tell you, a rotunda would really give us some access here. Why is this not a mechanical room?
I don't know. Do you want to do rotunda or you want to do closet?
We could do closet, I guess. We have no dice anymore, so now I'm a little worried about, like, putting a dead room in the center. Makes it easier for us to dead end in other ways. But, like, I don't know.
But we got the den door, we got the entrance hall. I feel like...
What are we looking for from a closet?
Are there hammers in a closet?
We have a hammer.
And the hammers shovels?
What's the value of a shovel?
There's a lot of dirt.
Yeah, but what are we hoping to dig up?
I guess Jeff's... Okay, no, I guess you're right.
Like, the best thing that could be in a closet is some more dice, I suppose. Right? And that does happen.
That's true.
Yeah, okay.
And if we're trying to fish for a rare room.
All right, well, no dice for us. But I do, yeah, I think the possibility of drawing dice, I think, was reasonable. Well, it feels to me like a second solarium is probably not all that good. The reading nook gives us a key. The trophy room gives us some gems. Gosh, I wish we had more stuff to do with gems. Yeah, we're not going to need keys, though, either, right? Like, there's 3 rooms left, and they're in the bottom left corner of the house. I'm taking the trophy room.
Okay.
I'm getting gems. What is this beeping? This beeping is there's coins on the floor. People just throwing shit on the ground.
How are we doing on the dart puzzle trophy?
That's a great question. Solve 40 dartboard puzzles. I might go so far as to say that it's ridiculous that we don't have it already. We're 2 workshop contraptions short. Right, we have some sigils to sigil. We almost got this today. You're not quite there.
Yeah, we won't get it today, unfortunately.
Yeah, we can't get it today.
Okay.
Reach room 46 in under an hour. 100% doable. So doable. If we were actually trying to do that at this point.
Yeah.
It is hard for me to believe we've only completed 32 dart puzzles. I wonder if it's counting the 3 that we did today. Yep, dead end. Cool. Well, I was really hoping that we were going to get a music room. But,
Me too.
you know this fucking video game. So, is there anything else to do? We'd like to end the room in end the day in one of the break rooms, which is doable.
Where's the nearest break room? How many steps away is it?
It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Why?
Okay. I just want to make sure we have enough steps. That's
Yeah,
all.
no, we're fine.
Okay.
It doesn't help us to gain anything. We could go in the lavatory and just wave our hammer around.
Let's go to the bedroom.
Okay. How helpful.
On the off chance the vault key might have been here,
Yeah.
but it's not.
Well,
Let's go to one of our 3 break rooms.
yeah, just nothing else worth doing.
Blueprints. This is a long episode.
It is a long episode, and this is what I was saying. Like, they're just getting more and more aimless because, like, at this point, I feel like I'm drafting. We were drafting towards something before, and I guess at this point, like, there's still 1 or 2 things where it's like, well, we could pull a furnace and a room that would be disturbed by the furnace, maybe.
Yeah. Like, I feel like we made progress today. Like, I feel like I feel like we got the sundial open, so we know we need to put another place for microchips to go. We can find out where the third microchip is.
So glad.
We read a story. We got the mirror. We figured out the mirror room.
Sledgehammer compass. We don't see the compass very often. Whatever the other contraptions are, like, I think we gotta consider the items that we don't take very much.
Yeah.
Security courtyard break room.
Before you go out, can you check the security thing for the items in the house?
Why?
In case the vault key is there and we haven't seen it, we missed it.
Which would mean what?
Okay.
So let's say it says
Right.
security deposit box key. Then what?
Then if we can get to the vault, we can open the thing and get a.
We
thing.
have 2 steps. Here. We live here. How would we have taken our 2 steps?
Right. No, you're right. I'm sorry.
You're always like, well, we were 2 hours and 20 minutes into the episode. Can we just waste like a few more? Can we just burn time for literally no value? Could you press a button that can only make us sad? And like, yeah, I can.
Here's the thing, sweetheart.
Yeah.
I did not expect this one to go on for this long.
Me neither.
And I haven't eaten yet today.
This feels like one of the worst runs, in the sense that it went on this long for no benefit. Like, we did nothing. We read that book, but that's it. Like,
I don't know. We did the mirror room.
I guess
got
we did the
second
mirror
break room.
Yeah, that's kind of almost something.
We figured out how to open the cloister.
Yeah.
Might be useful on another day when
we have a shovel.
Freaking shovel.
Well,
yeah.
what? Not just when we have the shovel, but when we need it, right? It wouldn't even have mattered today, because neither steps nor keys nor gems were problematic. And that's what I'm saying. It feels like we're getting more and more into that place where it's like we don't have any limitations anymore except the random number generator, except specifically the room drafting generator, and it's just like, well, will they allow us to play the game today, and how much? And that feels bad.
Really frustrating, yeah.
That's not, ooh, what a fun limitation. Oh, they're playing with friction. That's, slot machines are bad for your fucking brain. All right, anyway, that's going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. When you come back next time, we're fucking trying, y'all. We're going to keep trying. For how much longer? I honestly don't know. And we'll see you then.